If everybody can please stand.
My God, by the head step, forward, ho! Lyle, right, Lyle, right, Lyle, right, Lyle, right,
We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance.
detail, grease head, home!
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to bring up Javier Cruz for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Detail, order, home!
At this time, we'd like to have a moment of silence, and please keep in your thoughts the First Lady Barbara Bush, Assemblyman Jerry Green, Monsignor John J. Gilchrist, the Labor spiritual leader. dismissed.
Honor guard, right, haste. Honor guard by the half step, forward, halt. Lay out, lay out, lay out, right, lay out, lay out, lay out, lay out, right, lay out, lay out, lay out, lay out, right, lay out, lay out, lay out, lay out, right, lay out.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to bring up for the invocation, Father Pratchett. Please welcome Father Pratchett.
Good evening, everybody. I'm sitting with Andrea Borland, the accountant, and she had to leave suddenly because her 89-year-old mom is in medical distress. So I'd like to keep Andrea and her family, and especially her mom, in prayer. Her mom's name is Eleanor. But for all of us gathered here tonight, God, we thank you for the blessings. We thank you for the recipients of the Valor Awards tonight, for their bravery, for their concern always for others. Bless them. Bless all of us gathered. Bless the food we're about to receive. But Lord, in a special way, bless the families of all the recipients and all who fight fires, because they're the ones who are equally brave, the ones who send their loved ones off with great love and patiently await their return. So bless all of them, Lord, and help us be grateful for all of our blessings. Amen.
Thank you, Father Pratchett. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Dominic Marino. I'm the president of the Professional Firefighters Association of New Jersey. It's an honor to be up here today. I'd just like to say a few words before we get into the program of honoring those that are here tonight for their deeds that happened in 2017. Again, I'd like to thank the Jersey City Honor Guard and Jersey City Pipes and Drums for doing a fantastic job of leading our honorees in. This event is somewhat of a monumental event. There's a lot of things that go on, making sure that seats are in, all the things that need to be done, the book, the flowers, the invitations, everything going on. And there's usually one person that likes to sit in the background and doesn't like any recognition, but I would be remiss if I did not thank her against her wishes. But I'd like to thank our office manager, Eleanor Keys, for all the work that she's done. I'm probably going to pay for that, so she doesn't like being recognized. But she deserves it. But I do want to recognize the Assembly Speaker was here earlier, and that was good for this organization. We also have here State Senator Samuel Thompson with us, joining us today in the front. One of our honorees is here. Assemblyman Dan Benson is here tonight. There are two that we are still expecting. Senator Joe Cryan, I didn't see him. If he's here, I apologize. Senator Joe Cryan is due here, and Assemblywoman Shavonda Sumter is due here also, and we will welcome them when they do get here. I also want to thank IAFF First District Vice President Jim Slevin for making the time to be here tonight. We also have a few chiefs and departments with us tonight, and I'd like to recognize those individuals. From the Jersey City Fire Department, we have Chief Steve McGill. From the Elizabeth Fire Department, we have Chief Tom McNamara. From the Cape May Fire Department, we have Chief Alice Coulter. If I missed somebody, I apologize. I'd also like to welcome from St. Barnabas. St. Barnabas and the PFANJ and firefighters throughout have a special bond and a special relationship. The work that they do is astounding for the victims that are brought into their hospitals. they praise us for what we do, but we always praise them for the effort and the work that they have to go through day in and day out. When we have an incident, we take care of that patient, we get that patient to St. Barnabas, and then our work is done. St. Barnabas' work just begins, and it could be a day, it could be a week, it could be 3 weeks, it could be months. Theirs is almost a never-ending process, but they do it with diligence, they do it with humanity, and we are proud to call them our friends, our brothers, our sisters. And I'd like to welcome Dr. Michael Morano, Kathy Conlon, Ralph Burgos, Tina Estevez, and the rest of St. Barnabas Mercy. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize some of the PFANJ Executive Board members that are here tonight. And I would ask them to stand, and if you could hold your applause, and then we can get one big round, that would be great. Jim Oleski, Rob Beatty, Javier Cruz, Ali Cooper, Jack Dahl, please stand. John Escobar, Al Foster, Jason Howell, Robert Mahan, Steve McConnell, Anthony Tarantino, Ed Zabrowski, and retired PFANJ Treasurer Jeff Hulse. Please welcome the PFANJ Executive Board. My next introduction was going to be Andrea Borland, who has been with Tama, who has been with us for a very long time, but as you heard, she had to run because her mom had a medical emergency, so our well wishes are with Andrea. On behalf of the Executive Board and the entire membership of the Professional Firefighters Association of New Jersey, it is my honor to welcome each one of you to our annual Bravest of the Brave Valor Award ceremony. As President, there is not a prouder time for me than when we recount the individual and collective acts of courage, professionalism, and service above self that are the accounts we will share tonight with those gathered here today. To our award recipients, your acts reflect great credit upon yourselves, your family, and the entire membership of the PFANJ, as well as the department where you serve. When you put yourself in harm's way day in and day out, it gives those of us that work for you and your family a sincere uplifting and makes us proud to announce to anyone that we represent the Professional Firefighters Association of New Jersey, affiliated with over 310,000 career professional firefighters, emergency medical services, and allied support service members nationwide and in Canada that make up the International Association of Firefighters. May God bless and keep safe all those gathered here today, as well as the entire membership and families of the PFANJ. Welcome and enjoy the evening. Thank you. I'd like to bring up Jack Dahl, Secretary of the PFANJ, who will be your MC of the evening. When your names are called, if you can come to left side of the stage that you're facing, I will hand you the award. You'll step up to the stage. You have to go down the same way because there's only one set of stairs, and we don't want to have any medical emergencies here today.
How about a round of applause for our President, Don Marino? Our first award is the Valor Award for the Jersey City Fire Officers IAF Local 1064, Jersey City Firefighters IAF Local 1066, Captain Glenn Yukowski, Firefighter John Amato, Firefighter Justin Del Piano, Firefighter Gregory Malin. Just before 8:30 in the evening, Tower Ladder 4 responded with other Jersey City Fire Department companies to a fire at 150 Cater Avenue. Where first arriving firefighters were going to work, with fire venting from windows on the second floor at the rear of the building. A report was received of a victim visible above the fire at a third floor window. Tower ladder 4 would operate as a two-person interior team and a second two-person outside team to attempt a rescue. Inside, Captain Lukowski, firefighter Mellon, went above the fire, searched and located the victim. Outside, firefighter Del Piano and Amato maneuvered the boom and bucket of their apparatus around energized power lines to access the third floor window. The teams worked together to remove the victim from the third floor directly above the fire to the bucket of tower ladder 4, where he was brought to safety at street level and turned over to emergency medical services for treatment of smoke inhalation and lacerations. Further actions above and beyond the call of duty. Working together in multiple disciplines, the crew of Jersey City Fire Department Tower Ladder 4, Group D, are awarded the PFANJ Valor Award. Congratulations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorees, thank you. On behalf of Ladder Tower 4, it's an honor to receive this award tonight from you. Thank you. We also would like to thank the PFANJ district vice presidents, the locals, on every day working as hard as you do for us and our families, doing the right thing down there in Trenton. It is very important to me, being a executive board shop steward, treasurer and secretary of local 1066 and 1064. It's been an honor to serve them. Also, I would like to thank my wife, Evelyn, for being here tonight with me. Appreciate it. Also, I would like to thank Chief Steve McGill, Chief of the Department, for making Jersey City one of the best in the nation. I appreciate that. I would also like to thank Chief Mike Monahan, the chief. I go in to see him 5 days a week on my new position as chief, and showing me the right things to do for the men all the time. Thank you. On behalf of my men, John Amato, Justin Del Piano, and Greg Mellon, it has been a pleasure working with them. And I thank every one of you for coming tonight to let us enjoy this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief, and congratulations on your promotion. Pleasantville Professional Firefighters, IAF Local 2616, Captain Peter Bowker, Firefighter Stan Cole, Firefighter Gary Garrett. Arriving at a fire in a home, Pleasantville firefighters were confronted with visible fire on 3 floors. Aggressive deployment of attack hose lines commenced as those firefighters assigned to the ladder truck entered the burning house to begin a primary search. Soon, a report was made by the battalion chief that an occupant was trapped, possibly in the basement. Captain Bowker conducted the search of the basement, employing his training and the use of a thermal imaging camera. The victim was located in the basement and rescue operations began. With the assistance of firefighters Garrett and Colby, Captain Bowker successfully removed the victim out of the smoke and fire-involved house. For their actions above and beyond the call of duty, working together to save the life of a person trapped in a burning home, they are awarded the PFANJ Valor Award. Congratulations.
Good evening and thank you for the awards. I'd like to thank Dan Colby, Gary Guerra, as well as the men on the shift that morning, that were there, from the guy supplying the water, to the engine operator, to the ladder guy, who makes this all possible. It's not just the guys who get hands on the find the victim and remove the victim. It's everybody on that job that makes this possible for us to accomplish this. So thank you, everybody. And many thanks to my lovely wife. What's up with me? Thank you, honey.
Always remember to thank your wife. Canton County Firefighters, IF Local 3249, Emergency Medical Technician Glenn Werner. Right? Voorhees Fire Department EMT Glenn Werner was off duty on February 22nd when he was alerted to a response by his department to an address not far from his residence. The report was a person not breathing. Recognizing the address and realizing he was close by, EMT Werner decided to respond to provide assistance. When he arrived, he found a desperate mother holding her lifeless 18-month-old daughter. Without hesitating, EMT Werner quickly assessed the condition of the child and identified an obstructed airway. Once he cleared the child's airway, he began resuscitative efforts, successfully restoring the child's breathing before any of the other responders arrived. As the child and her mother were brought to the hospital, EMT Werner remained at the scene, ensuring the safety of the family's other children while they waited for an adult family member to arrive. As a direct result of the EMT Werner's actions, the 18-month-old has fully recovered. For his actions while off duty that resulted in the saving of a young life, the EMT Werner is awarded the PFANJ EMS Meritorious Award. Congratulations.
Thank everybody for this, being awarded for this. I went home, I was at home, and it just, even when we're off, we're still on. So, thank you so much.
Very true. Gloucester County Professional Firefighters, IF Local 3592. Connor Dillon, Civilian Meritorious Award. Connor? At the start of the day on April 6th, Glassboro firefighter Paul Dillon was on duty in his station. He began receiving multiple rapid text messages from his 14-year-old son Connor, a student at Glassboro Intermediate School. Connor was informing his father of a strange smell at the school, a line forming at the school's nurse's office. Students and faculty were complaining of headaches and even chest pains. Immediately, Chief Steve Smith was informed of the messages and contact was made with officials at the school. As more people were reporting illness, Chief Smith ordered the response of his department to investigate. When the first responding personnel arrived, they found the school had not yet been evacuated. Initial readings with carbon monoxide detection equipment by the firefighters found levels in excess of 100 parts per million, a serious threat to health and safety. To evacuate the building immediately, the fire alarm system was sounded and additional ambulances were summoned to the scene. Ultimately, 90 people were transported to area hospitals for treatment of carbon monoxide poisoning. Recognizing a dangerous situation that was escalating so rapidly, others failed to realize the most obvious course of action. 14-year-old Connor Dillon intervened and saved lives. For his actions, the PFANJ is proud to award Connor our Civilian Meritorious Award. Congratulations. Jersey City Firefighters, IAF Local 1066. Jersey City Fire Officers, IAF Local 1064. Jersey City Fire Department, Marine 2, Union Meritorious Award. Memorial Day brings Fleet Week to New York Harbor and the waters around Jersey City, New Jersey. At noon on May 28th, Jersey City Fire Department's Marine 2 was patrolling those waters routinely during the festivities. Positioned at the mouth of the Morris Canal, the crew were observing the elite United States Navy SEAL leapfroggers team aboard 2 helicopters above the Hudson River. They witnessed a member of the SEAL team plummet from one of the aircraft from a significant altitude, hitting the surface of the water without the benefit of his primary or backup parachute. Obvious to the Marine 2, the Navy SEAL is in distress and only 50 feet from their position in the water. Captain Simone entered the water with a member of the United States Coast Guard, made contact with the SEAL, and kept him afloat. Firefighter Mangan Gallagher entered the water to provide assistance to the first 2 rescuers, while firefighter Montserrat maintained radio communication with dispatch and positioned Marine 2 in a tactical position to protect the rescuers and the victim in the water from other boats and their wake. The SEAL was weighted down with his heavy waterlogged gear, and he was tangled in the cord and material of his failed parachute. Together, the rescuers were able to keep the SEAL afloat and transfer him to a Coast Guard vessel. With the SEAL and his rescuers on the Coast Guard boat, Jersey City firefighters provided CPR until they were relieved by emergency medical technicians. For their actions working together to provide an injured United States Navy SEAL his best chance of survival, Marine 2 is awarded the PFANJ Unit Meritorious Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you to the PFA members for recognizing us. And on that day, I had the best team Jersey Fire Department and any department in New Jersey had. And as a captain, that's what I depend on. These men right here that jumped in there with me to save this, and his name was Remington. I also like to thank Chief Monahan for organizing the land units and helping us with the rescue. Thank you very much.
Incredible men doing incredible things. Camden County IAF Local 3249. Cherry Hill Fire Officers IAF Local 3198. Cherry Hill Firefighters IAF Local 2663. Basic Life Support 1392, Engine 1322. EMS Team Meritorious Award. Cherry Hill Fire Department Basic Life Support Ambulance 1392 and Engine 1322. were dispatched on the night of July 28th, a report of an unconscious person. While responding, they were updated. The unconscious person was an infant, not breathing. Met outside by the parents carrying their lifeless child, Cherry Hill responders wasted no time. EMT Bush took the child to the controlled environment of the ambulance and assessed quickly, determining cardiac arrest had occurred. The crew of BLS 1392 began chest compressions and ventilation of the infant. With the engine company now on scene, all personnel contributed to the effort, addressing all aspects necessary to manage the event. To waste no time, the ambulance started transport to the hospital without the benefit of an advanced life support unit. Their efforts continued en route to the hospital with success. They were able to restore pulse and respirations before arriving at the emergency room. When they turned over care to the medical staff, the child was crying, a welcome sign for the rescuers. Cherry Hill Fire Department medical and fire responders employed their training and mutual cooperation to save a life. And for their efforts, the PFANJ proudly awards them the EMS Team Meritorious Award. Congratulations.
Thank the PFANJ, and thank both of our wives for the training that we've been able to receive today.
Toms River EMS IAFF Local 4846. Toms River Medical Unit 1. Toms River Medical Unit 3. EMS Unit Commendation Award. Toms River Police Officer Charles Granger, Civilian Meritorious Award. On August 3rd, in Toms River, a 10-year-old girl playing in her backyard was heading inside. She pushed on a back door with her hands. The pane of glass broke. As she fell through the glass, she suffered deep lacerations to her arms. Toms River Police Officer Charles Granger arrived first and recognized the severity of her injuries. Immediately, he applied direct pressure to her wounds in an attempt to slow, if not control, the loss of blood. When the responding medical personnel arrived, they teamed up with Officer Granger to manage the most severe injury, the deep laceration to her left arm. A tourniquet was necessary to control the bleeding. Properly applied and timely, bleeding was controlled. Following immediate transport to the closest trauma center, the young victim was given an excellent prognosis. Immediate recognition of severe injuries and rapid intervention to control bleeding lead to literally saving life and limb of a 10-year-old girl. The PFANJ proudly awards the Civilian Meritorious Award to Toms River Police Officer Charlie Granger, to Toms River Emergency Medical Services Unit 1 and 3, the PFANJ EMS Unit Commendation Award. Congratulations.
We want to thank the PFANJ for having us, and we're very grateful for the community that we have with our police department to be able to work so closely as a team and get the job done. Thank you.
Elizabeth Fire Officers, IAF Local 2040. Elizabeth Firefighters, IAF Local 777. Captain Gary Hasco, Firefighter Timothy Cowan, Firefighter Thomas Fowler, Firefighter Louis Zelekovic. Valor Award. Engine 1, Engine 7, Team Meritorious Award. Occupants were trapped above a fire at 208 Broad Street in Elizabeth on August 5th. A business on the first floor and apartments above. Battalion 2 was on the scene confirming the working fire before the deputy fire chief transmitted the second alarm. While Engine 1 worked to confine the fire on the first floor, Rescue 1, under the command of Captain Hasco, ascended the stairs to the floors above the fire without the protection of a hose line to search for those trapped. The second floor held no occupants, but Rescue 1 firefighters found fire had extended and was spreading. Engine 7 used their attack line to protect the stairs Captain Hasco's crew used, ensuring they would be able to exit at the conclusion of their tasks. Onto the third floor, still without a hose line for protection, Captain Hasco, firefighters Cowan, Fowler, and Zelekovic located and rescued 4 trapped occupants and their children, removing all and their two roosters, a macaw, and a turtle. That's just a chicken. The PFANJ Valor Award is presented to Elizabeth Fire Department Rescue Company 1, Captain Gary Hasco, Firefighter Timothy Cowan, Thomas Fowler, Louis Zelekovic, for their efforts to confine the growing fire and protect the egress of the rescuers. The Team Meritorious Award is presented to Elizabeth Fire Department Engine 1 and Engine 7. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank the committee, Steve Kala, Chief McNamara, Battalion Chief Mark. I just want to say one thing. These guys do, and what I ask them to do, they do without hesitation. And there's 2 more guys to the crew that aren't here tonight, but it's these guys that make me look good. And it's also what we do is not possible without the engine and the truck doing what they have to do. And they do it. And I give credit to them for getting water supply, getting the lines in place, the trucks opening up so we can go where we have to go. So the credit goes to them. Thank you.
And the chicken patch too. August 13, 2017, Woodbridge Firefighters, IAF Local 290. Truck 126, Engine 1, 2, Car 135. Team Non-Fire Meritorious Award. Woodbridge firefighters were requested for the report of a boat in distress after hitting the rocks. As they arrived, Lieutenant Nickler recognized a 20-foot boat atop the rocks of the jetty and leaning dramatically to one side. It was now reported by a police officer aboard a private vessel that there were 5 victims aboard the boat in distress, one only semi-conscious. The 3 responding Woodbridge firefighters retrieved their medical equipment and boarded the same private vessel that carried the police officer and had returned to the dock for transport to the accident scene. As they approached the damaged and stranded boat, Lieutenant Minkler assessed the injured and triaged them, treating the most seriously injured. Working with responding vessels from Perth Amboy and the FDNY, the Woodbridge crew assessed, treated, and transported all of the injured from their distressed vessel to land for transport to a hospital, including one requiring aeromedical transport. For their efforts to this unique and effective team effort to rescue multiple patients from a stranded, damaged boat, the PFANJ awards the Team Meritorious Award to Woodbridge Truck 126, Engine 12, and Car 135, the PFANJ Valor Award. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank the PFANJ for this award on behalf of the members of Sport 4. Unfortunately, one of our members couldn't make it. He's welcoming the baby boy to this world today. These guys, I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to work with who made this rescue operation so successful. It's the fact that I really didn't have to say too much, and we each know each other's next step. So again, thank you very much.
Just goes to show you never know what you're going to run into out there. Cape May Firefighters, IAF Local 3495. Firefighter Timothy Derstowitz, Firefighter Joshua Vandermark, Valor Award. While all firefighters in our union face the same challenges presented by fires, medical responses, car accidents, and hazardous investigations, our brothers and sisters who have the Atlantic Ocean in their jurisdiction share a special bond. On August 18th, Cape May firefighters were returning from a fire response when they were alerted to a potential water rescue at the Philadelphia Avenue beach. Firefighter Timothy Derstowitz and firefighter Joshua Vandermark quickly changed from their firefighting equipment into their water rescue equipment and prepared to enter the water if necessary. At the scene, a distressed victim was visible in the ocean. Swimming in the direction of the victim, the firefighters were able to make contact with him and prevent what would have certainly been a fatal drowning. Rescuers secured the victim to a rescue board and brought him to shore with assistance from lifeguards and other fire department members. The PFANJ proudly awards Cape May firefighters Derstowitz and Vandermark the Valor Award. Congratulations.
On behalf of both of us, we'd like to thank the PFANJ for this award. We'd also like to thank the friends and families and the rest of our squad that was with us that day. Lieutenant Jack, Firefighter Woodward, and Firefighter Montgomery for standing. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
August 29, 2017, Edison Fire Officers, IAFF Local 2883, Captain Michael Morath. The Edison Fire Department responded to a house fire on Fairfax Road in the early morning hours of August 29th. Arriving at the scene, firefighters were promptly informed by police officers an occupant of the burning home was unaccounted for. In deteriorating conditions and without the protection of a hose line, a firefighter conducting the search located the victim and began rescue operations. Edison Fire Captain Michael Morath contributed to the rescue of both the occupant and an injured firefighter. For his contribution to the effective team effort employed to save a life from a burning home, the PFANJ awards Edison Fire Captain Michael Morath the Fire Meritorious Award. September 11th, 2017, Asbury Park Firefighters IAFF Local 384. Firefighter John Anastasia, Firefighter Ryan Matthews. The weather after Labor Day 2017 continued to bring beachgoers to Asbury Park, despite warnings of the lifeguards being off duty for the season. Inviting but dangerous, the surf conditions were deceiving and claimed many victims. September 11th was one of those days and seemed destined to add to the drowning statistics. Just after 3 p.m., the Asbury Park Fire Department responded to reports of swimmers caught in rip currents. At the scene, firefighters were confronted with 2 swimmers visible and in distress. Firefighter Matthews reached the water's edge first, his backup swimmer delayed by the crowds and traffic approaching the beach from the boardwalk. Without hesitation, and without the benefit of assistance, he entered the water, swam to, and corralled 2 victims in the turbulent water, but was unable to return them to the safety of the beach. The backup swimmer, firefighter Anastasia, as soon as he was able, deployed and reached Matthews with a tagline. Using firefighter Anastasia's rope, the balance of the assignment on the beach hauled both firefighters and victims to safety. For their efforts, disregarding known safe practices to save lives, the PFANJ presents Asbury Park firefighters Matthews and Anastasia the Valor Award. Congratulations. Good job.
I'd just like to thank the PFANJ for having us here tonight and for this honor. I'd like to thank both our wives, Elena and Kelly, for putting up with our actions and taking care of us at home and what we do here. I'd like to thank my union president, Robert Fonnells, for being here tonight. Our PFANJ Local 384 delegate, James Hammond, for being here tonight. And the guys that pulled us in from Tour 4, they're not here tonight, they're working. But they were the guys that got us back to the beach, so this is for them. Thanks, guys.
September 30th, 2017, Newark Fire Officers IAF Local 1860, Captain Daniel Iberer, Fire Commendation. Two floors on fire met Newark firefighters on the morning of September 30th as they arrived at 857 South 16th Street. Ladder 11 was informed of a victim trapped above the fire. Recognizing the aerial ladder would be needed to make the rescue, and the position of the apparatus prevented its use, Captain Daniel Iberer quickly ordered it to be repositioned on an adjacent street. Maneuvering the ladder and using all of its reach to extend over a garage to the window where the hysterical victim awaited rescue, Captain Iberer and his crew ascended the ladder, calmed, and then removed the victim over the ladder to the ground where awaiting emergency medical technicians brought her to St. Barnabas Hospital for treatment. The Fire Commendation Award is presented to Captain Daniel Iberer for his quick decision-making and execution of a successful rescue of a victim from a burning building. Congratulations, Captain.
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you to the PFANJ President Paul Bartolome. And most of all, thanks to my crew. They always make me look good at every fire, and they did the same, Matt. Thank you very much.
October 10th, 2017, Ocean City IAFF Local 4032, firefighter Matt Slaughter, non-fire Valor Award. Firefighter Brian McLeod, non-fire Meritorious Award. Ocean City firefighters responded to the Moreland Terrace Beach to investigate a report of people in the water, in distress, and signaling for help. One victim who made it to shore was quickly attended to by responders. The other was visible 300 feet from the shoreline and being pushed by high seas and a rip current towards the end of a rock jetty. Firefighter Slaughter entered the water and swam to the victim, making contact with her. He was able to secure her and keep her afloat. Firefighter McLeod deployed from shore with a rescue board. Reaching Slaughter and the victim, they employed the board to stay afloat. Once the fire department's jet ski was deployed, it was used to bring both rescue swimmers and the victim safely to shore. For his efforts, swimming in dangerous waters, reaching a distressed woman, and keeping her afloat, the PFANJ awards the Valor Award to firefighter Matt Slaughter. And for his role bringing additional equipment and aiding in the rescue, the firefighter Brian McLeod is awarded the PFANJ Non-Fire Meritorious Award. Congratulations.
Matt and I would just like to thank the PFANJ for this award and this evening. We'd like to thank our family and friends for coming out tonight. Little note, Matt dove in the ocean in his uniform because he didn't have time to put his water rescue gear on. And there was also two other firefighters who deployed the jet ski, firefighter Danny Shalowitz and firefighter Rob Bender, who should also be recognized here. So thank you for the night. Enjoy your night, guys.
October 16, 2017, Cherry Hill firefighters, IAFF Local 2663. Firefighter Marty Marcuson, firefighter Andrew Gotch. Responding to a report of fire on the 5th floor of a 6-story apartment building, Cherry Hill firefighters arrived to find exactly that, fire venting from a balcony on the 5th floor. While the responding companies went about their assignments, Ladder 4 was no different. The two outside team members of Ladder 4 began setting up their apparatus to use the aerial ladder as egress or access to the fire area, a standard procedure in incidents like these. As he set the stabilizers of his rig, Ladder 4 firefighter Marty Gotch observed a woman screaming for help from the balcony adjacent to the fire. She was enveloped in thick black smoke, and the only barrier between her and the growing fire was a small privacy wall. His observations were urgently communicated to the chief, and a rescue was underway. As the ladder was placed just above the railing of her balcony, firefighter Marcuson ascended, made contact with her, and reassured her he could help. Joined by Gotch on the balcony, they quickly considered their options. Exiting through the interior was impossible. Smoke and heat inside the victim's apartment made it untenable. The only way would be the more dangerous removal over the ladder. They lifted the elderly woman over the railing and placed her on the ladder. Firefighter Gotch supported and guided their victim rung by rung to safety, while Marcuson completed a search of the victim's apartment, ensuring no one else was in peril. Once she was turned over to awaiting emergency medical services, Both ladder floor firefighters returned to their assignments and contributed to the confinement and control of the fire. For their efforts, Cherry Hill firefighters Marcuson and Gotch are awarded the PFANJ Valor Award, rescuing an elderly woman over their aerial ladder, removing her from fire-exposed apartment, and sparing her injury or even a worse fate. Congratulations.
I just want to say thank you to Andrew and I. Could have done it without Andrew. All Cherry Hill Fire Department would have done the same thing. And hopefully I just did what was right. And this award is for all at Cherry Hill.
November 3rd, 2017, Camden County IAFF Local 3249. Lieutenant Jeffrey T. Joyce, firefighter EMT Melanie Pierce, firefighter EMT Paul Bonamassa, Valor Award. Searching above a fire without a hose line is one of the most treacherous and dangerous evolutions firefighters ever prepare for. To yield a successful rescue and avoid injury or worse for their rescuers is ideal. On the night of November 3rd, a report of fire was made in the borough of Collingswood. A single-family home on Crestmont Terrace was ablaze with an occupant trapped within. Firefighters arrived, finding visible fire on the first floor. The person trapped was said to be on the second floor, above the fire. While the first attack line was advanced, Lieutenant Joyce, firefighters Pierce and Bonamassa began a search. They entered and descended to the floor above the fire without the benefit of a protective hose line. The 911 operator was able to remain on the phone with the victim and provide firefighters with vital information regarding her location in the home. While Lieutenant Joyce and his crew performed their search, other firefighters completed essential tasks necessary to bring everyone home safely, including an attack on the visible fire and placement of ladders to second floor windows where the victim was believed to be. Once Lieutenant Joyce, firefighters Pierce and Bonamassa located the victim, they accessed the second floor window, and passed her to firefighters who had ascended the ladder to assist. Once removed from the fire, the victim was received by emergency medical services, who transported her to a nearby hospital. She was later treated and released. For their efforts saving the life of the victim trapped above a fire, Collingswood Fire Lieutenant Jeffrey Joyce, firefighter EMT Melanie Pierce, and firefighter EMT Paul Bonamassa are awarded the PFANJ Valor Award. Congratulations. November 10th, 2017. Camden Fire Officers IAFF Local 2578, Camden Firefighters IAFF Local 788. Captain Edward Stratton, firefighter Johnny Broadwater, Valor Award. Just after 7 p.m. on November 10th in Camden, fire was reported at 1306 Thurman Street. While responding, firefighters were informed by their dispatch center that the fire was said to be on the second floor and there was a person trapped. As the first company arrived, they found fire visible in the second floor windows. They went to work, advancing an attack line and trying to gain entry through the locked front doors. Witnesses told firefighters at the scene an occupant had been visible in the windows on the second floor before firefighters arrived. Soon, ladder 2 arrived, and their personnel got started with inside and outside work, including placing ground ladders and searching for the missing occupant. The search continued as firefighters made progress confining the fire to one front bedroom on the second floor. Ladder 2 Captain Edward Stratton reported that their search was successful. The victim located by firefighter Broadwater in a rear second floor bedroom, and they were making their way out, carrying the victim who was in cardiac arrest. After falling in debris and requiring assistance of another company, the victim was transferred to awaiting emergency medical services. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation efforts were begun and the victim transported to the hospital. The victim was later discharged from the hospital, surviving the fire only by the efforts of her rescuers. The PFANJ presents the Valor Award to Camden Fire Captain Edward Stratton and firefighter Johnny Broadwater for their successful rescue. Congratulations.
We would like to thank the PFANJ for this prestigious award. My Union President Sam Yunez and all the men and women who assisted us in this successful rescue. Thank you.
Great job on that. Newark Fire Officers, IAFF Local 1860, Battalion Chief 1, Engine Company 18, Engine Company 10, Ladder Company 10, Team Commendation Award. My alma mater. Sorry, that's a typo, Battalion 4.
There you go.
I thought that might be. One. November 20th in Newark, Battalion Chief William Wydell responded with Engine 18 under the command of Captain Nelson Moreno to a reported house fire. What they arrived to find was a 3-story house with fire on the first and second floors, cars burning in the driveway adjacent to the house, threatening the home next door. Chief Wydell was then told by civilians at the scene that people were trapped inside. The engine was ordered to confine the fire with their first line to protect those inside and extinguish as much as they could. The next engine, Engine 10, under the command of Captain Christopher Eotis, was ordered to use their attack line to extinguish the cars that were on fire and protect the trapped occupants who were now visible on a fire escape at the second floor and a nearby rooftop. Ladder 10 followed the orders of Captain Manuel Gonzalez, using a ground ladder at the back of the house to safely remove 2 victims. Chief Wydell was relieved after the second alarm brought the deputy fire chief to the scene. He would move to an interior position where he oversaw the final extinguishment of the fire and remaining searches for victims. In this position, he also supervised the safe removal of a Newark firefighter who had fallen through the rear stairs. A true team effort and coordinated attack on several fronts brought this incident to a successful end. The PFANJ presents the Team Commendation Award to Newark Fire Department Battalion 4, Engine 10, Engine 18, and Ladder 10. Congratulations.
Real quick, I don't want to hold it up. I want to thank the committee for selecting us to receive this award. We're very honored. I'd like to thank the Newark Union President Tony Tarantino, that's here, Vice President Paul Bartoloni, for always submitting us into this, and thank you very much. But that day of the fire, I only ran that fire. These are the real heroes behind me. My hat goes off to these guys. Dynamite guys. Thank you very much.
Camden Firefighters, IAFF Local 788. Firefighter Malik Winters, Valor Award. heater fire was reported and Camden City firefighters responded. The address was determined to be incorrect as the first arriving battalion chief recognized smoke and deteriorating conditions in an adjacent home. All responders were informed. Forcible entry performed and attack lines were being advanced when the incident commander recognized signs of a basement fire. Ladder 2 was operating as they should, with 2 members searching the interior and 2 members outside facing ladders and creating openings for ventilation while the engine was making their way to the basement. Ladder 2 firefighter Malik Winters ascended one of those ladders to open a window for vent. It was at this time he recognized the victim on the floor near a second floor window he just removed. In high heat and dense smoke, he reached in and removed an 85-year-old woman from the floor beneath the window and brought her down safely. She was transported to Cooper Hospital, where after treatment she recovered and was released. Quick recognition and immediate action made the difference and saved a life. For his efforts, the PFANJ awards the Valor Award to Camden firefighter Malik Winters. Congratulations.
I just want to thank the PFANJ for awarding me this and not butcher my name that much. It's moved. It's missing E. They even also senior firefighter John Broadwater and Captain Stratton there also assisting with the E. So thank y'all.
Congratulations, Malik. I just read them.
Who wrote it?
December 15th, 2017. Hoboken Fire Officers, IAFF Local 1078. Hoboken Firefighters, IAFF Local 1076. Engine 4, Engine 2, Ladder 1, Battalion 1. Team Non-Fire Meritorious Award. An unusual call for service met with the training and professionalism of a specialized team led to the safe removal of occupants in a stalled elevator. On December 15th, Hoboken Fire Department was operating at 1450 Gordon Street with Engine 2, Ladder 1, and Battalion 1. They had responded to mitigate an elevator that was stuck in a blind shaft approximately 20 feet below the 5th floor. Inside the elevator car were 2 adults and an 18-month-old child. Hoboken Engine 4 was called to the scene for their specialized tools, equipment, and training in rope, rigging, and rescue. Engine 4, under the command of Joseph Grossi, assembled a system complete with safety systems using ropes and pulleys to anchor, change direction, and haul the trapped occupants. Each member of the other units was given specific assignments and responsibilities within the system to complete the maneuver. Once employed, the rope system successfully removed all 3 occupants without complication. For their actions above and beyond the routine, Hoboken Engine 4, Engine 2, Ladder 1, and Battalion 1 are recognized with the PFANJ Team Non-Fire Meritorious Award. Congratulations.
Thank you to the PFANJ, and thank you to the men and women behind me who performed flawlessly as a team to get the job done. Thank you.
This concludes the Valor portion of this evening's program. I now bring President Marino back for some further recognitions. Thank you very much.
Good job, Jack. Thank you very much. If you were here a few years ago, you might have heard me butcher a few names, so that's why we have Jack doing it. He was a lot better than I am. Joe, in the beginning, I mentioned a lot of names, and I thank people. And inevitably, when you do that, sometimes you forget somebody, or you forget something to say. And lo and behold, absolutely, I did. You know, I try sometimes not to read from the paper that I write, but now you realize why you should read from the paper you write, so you don't forget anybody. There are a couple of people that I missed. John Sandell, which is an emeritus on our executive board, so I want to recognize John Sandell, who's here. And when I was recognizing the executive board, our treasurer was here, Matt Caliente, and I neglected to recognize him, so please, Matt Caliente. And one other group that I failed to recognize was the New Jersey FOP, Fraternal Order of Police. Their president, Bob Fox, is here tonight, so I want to thank him for being here tonight. Okay, we have four more awards to give out, and that's what we're going to do, and then we'll get, you know, we're done with the award program, and then you all can get to enjoy the rest of the evening. So bear with me 1 second, and we're going to get to the 4 awards, and we'll get moving. So hang on. Okay, our first award that we'd like to bring up, and I'd like to recognize the Elizabeth Fire officers that are here tonight, and if they can come up and join me for this award. The next award we're going to give out is the Special Recognition Award, and that award is going to Chief Merrill. He's the chief of the Phillips 66 Refinery Fire Department. Chief, please join us up on the dais. Chief Merrill is being recognized today for his tremendous support of the Elizabeth Fire Department and the fire service as a whole. Chief Merrill has provided countless training opportunities to the fire service by funding and organizing all expenses paid attendance at the TEX Flammable Liquid Firefighting School in College Station, Texas, as well as providing funding, resources, and personnel to assist the training division of the Elizabeth Fire Department with teaching recruit classes. Chief Merrill is also responsible for acquiring resources and funding to equip the Elizabeth specialized apparatus in the event of an emergency of the many refineries or funnel material storage facilities in or adjacent to the city of Elizabeth. Elizabeth Engine Company number 5 was custom built to handle these types of emergencies and was paid for by UASI and port security grants. Because of Chief Merrill's support, the Elizabeth Fire Department are able to train in a real-world environment with real-world apparatus and extinguishing agents without the worry of cost or replenishment. We thank Chief Merrill, and on behalf of the PFANJ, it is my honor to present to Chief Merrill this PFANJ Special Recognition Award. Congratulations, Chief.
Good evening. Real quick, I just want to thank Chief Merrill. We read the submission that we put in, but I can't stress enough how much Chief Merrill does for the Elizabeth Fire Department and the area surrounding the Bay Area Refinery. Every morning, every shift I drive into work, I look to the left and I see this refinery. If you ever driven past it, it's massive, it's huge. As a fire officer, I always say, holy shit, if something happens there, what do we do? And I got to tell you, I rest easy now knowing that this gentleman is running the show at the Bay Area Refinery. It makes me feel good. And when something, God forbid if it does happen, he's going to fix the problem, he's going to give us the answers, and most importantly, he's going to keep our guys safe. And the amount of training he provides for our department, many departments, not just us, is second to none. It's real hands-on live fire stuff with real fuel. It's as good and close to the real thing as you can get. And we can't thank Phillips 66 enough, and in particular, Chief Jeff Merrill. He's a good friend, he's a great chief, and I thank him more than you know. Thank you.
I didn't come prepared to say anything, but when I saw everybody else was thanking people, I figured I need to thank some people as well. So just give me a minute to get my glasses. First off, I'd like to congratulate all the Valor Award recipients. Congratulations, guys and ladies. Very well done. Good job. I'd also like to thank the Elizabeth IAFF Local 2040 and the PFANJ for this special recognition. At Phillips 66, our core values are safety, honor, and commitment, and our commitment includes being prepared for an emergency at the Bayway Refinery. Part of that preparation includes having municipal firefighters which surround the refinery trained for fires they may not normally encounter. I want to thank the Bayway Refinery leadership team, including our HSE manager, Hope Ray, who's here tonight, and my immediate supervisor, Dave Dolnick, for their support as well with approving the funding to allow us to train and support the Elizabeth Fire Department. Thank you very much for this special recognition.
Congratulations again, Chief. Our next award is our State Legislative Leadership Award, and this year we are honoring the Honorable Dan Benson, Assemblyman, New Jersey Assembly District 14. Dan? Tonight, we are honoring Assemblyman Daniel Benson with the PFANJ State Legislative Leadership Award. Assemblyman Benson became an Assemblyman in 2011, and throughout his tenure in the Assembly, he has proven time and time again that he understood our concerns and our needs. Whenever firefighter issues were brought before him, he would ensure that he had a full understanding of the issue and would champion our issues. Assemblyman Benson utilized his office to move our issues forward and has lobbied other members of the Assembly on our behalf. Assemblyman Benson has always had an open door with the PFANJ, giving us the ability to discuss our issues, and after being briefed, he would offer his honest opinion, and if it was something he felt strongly about, he would be an advocate for us. Assemblyman Benson is a valuable asset that the firefighters and emergency medical personnel need in the state legislature. We are thankful for the time he has spent in the Assembly and for what he has done for the firefighters and emergency medical personnel of New Jersey, and wish him continued success in the state legislature. We pride ourselves on supporting those who support us. Doesn't matter what affiliation it is. Dan supports us, and we will continue to support Dan. On behalf of the PFANJ, it is my honor to present the PFANJ State Legislative Leadership Award to Assemblyman Dan Benson. Dan?
No, I know I'm just maybe one or two away from dinner, so I will keep it brief. But first, I just want to thank President Marino, Dominic Marino, for his partnership. I've served in the legislature for 8 years, but our friendship actually goes back when I served at the local level in Hamilton and as a freeholder in Mercer County. It's really humbling to be up here and share the stage with all the Valor Awards. And I just want to congratulate each and every one of you and thank your families. What you do, the heroism and selfless acts that you do, is what inspires me to fight for you and your families every single day in Trenton. And keep that in mind as decisions are being made. We've gone through a pretty rough period over the last 8 years, and I've been happy to see that things are starting to move in the right direction. But that doesn't mean there aren't fights ahead. And I'm always happy to be a fighter, whether it's in my own party sometimes, but sometimes, regardless of who's there, always happy to be a partner with PFANJ to make sure that we do the right thing in Trenton, and so that you can do the job that you need to do and return home safely to your families. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan. At this time, we're going to award the Thomas P. Canzanella Local Affiliate of the Year Award, and this year's recipients are the Pleasantville Fire Officers Local 4928 and Firefighters Local 2616. Come on up. Pleasantville Fire Officers and Firefighters IAFF Local 4928 and 2616 are proud members of the IAFF and PFANJ. Both locals have been maintained a high level of service to the IAFF and PFANJ and step up to whatever tasks or challenges were asked of them. The Pleasantville locals have shown time and time again what it means to be union. Their members have represented their local, town, and traditions and brotherhood of the fire service with the utmost commitment. The local continues to remain strong and united and determined in every aspect. The Pleasantville locals have never wavered from the community and continued in their annual events. Free mammogram screening, Christmas parade, raise money for cancer awareness, MDA, National Night Out, and Operation Warm, which supplies coats for kids. Through all their challenges, their leadership has kept the locals strong and steadfast. Tonight, the PFANJ is proud to honor the fire officers and firefighters of Pleasantville, IAFF Local 4928 and 2616 with the Thomas P. Canzanella Local Affiliate of the Year Award. Congratulations.
First, I would like to congratulate all the award recipients tonight. On behalf of Fire Officers of Pleasantville 4928, I'd like to thank PFANJ and the committee for this award.
I would like to thank the PFANJ for this event. Also to my fellow union members for Local 2616. And I also want to really send a special thanks to our state delegate, Anton Brown, for all the events that he's put together for our local to also help us achieve this award. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the PFANJ for acknowledging us for this particular award. I'd like to thank my fellow firefighters from the Officers Union as well as the Firefighters Union for supporting the efforts that we do daily to let the community know that we're there for them. And it's just not a paycheck, it is a career, it is an opportunity to be one with the community. The Thomas P. Canzanella Award is a real special award. For those who don't know, who did not know Mr. Canzanella, I've had a personal privilege of knowing the guy, and no disrespect, but this guy was a stellar, upstanding president of New Jersey that represented us well throughout the country. every day that he spoke on our behalf, every state that he went to, every conference, every convention that he supported us in. He was the state president to be acknowledged with, to be associated with, and to be under his leadership. So in regards to Tom Canzanella, I do take my hat off to Mr. Canzanella regarding his efforts, and due to his early passing, he's highly missed. And I'd like to thank also to the other locals that stood by us, Camden officers 3298, thank you for your support as always. Camden firefighters 788, y'all led the way for us to learn how to maneuver through the system of unionship. I thank y'all for that. North Fire officers, in particular Tony Tarantino, he was like a mentor to me to allow his knowledge to be disseminated amongst my local other officers. Unions, Tiny, I don't know his real name, I just know his name is Tiny. From the Elizabeth Fire Officers Union, I do thank you. And as far as my local, I thank them for always supporting my ideas, my efforts, and not just only mine, but others that have come before me and that are there with me now, that have done the National Night Outs, that have done the Christmas, the Santa Claus drives, and that have done the open houses. And thank you to our executive board for supporting us as always. Thank you to the city of Pleasantville, the city, the mayor, the city administrator. Thank you to our chief who backed us and allowed us to do things within the firehouse as a whole. And thank you to the city school board who allowed us to do the Coast for Kids, and just note of perseverance on that. At one point, we were number 10 in the country for providing Coast for Kids, and that's throughout the entire country. So I'd like to thank the PFANJ again for acknowledging us on this award, and it will not be absorbed lightly. I do thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're at the home stretch. The award we're going to give out right now is something very special in our organization. We are a union. We take pride in what we do. We work for the members. And there's always one individual that goes above and beyond, and we try to recognize that person. The award we're going to give out tonight is the Senator Christopher J. Jackman Unionism Award. And tonight that award goes to Robert Beatty, North Plainfield Fire Officers IAFF Local 2983 President and PFANJ 2nd District Vice President. Rob, come on up. Congratulations. Rob is a wonderful husband to his wife Lynn and father to his 2 children, Robert, Robbie, and Larissa. We all know how difficult it is to be a union leader and still ensure that our families are taken care of, and Rob has been able to balance that time well. Rob is a proud member of the North Plainfield Fire Department, and in the true tradition of the fire service, he followed in his dad's footsteps. Mr. Beatty retired in 1989 as a lieutenant of the North Plainfield Fire Department. Brother Beatty has been involved as a union member, serving on his local's executive board and the state executive board for many years. Currently, Rob is president of the North Plainfield Fire Officers Local 2983 and serves as the PFANJ 2nd District Vice President. And coincidentally, Rob's dad served as the PFANJ 2nd District Vice President over 30 years ago. Rob has served on numerous committees in his capacity as a representative of the North Plainfield Locals and the State Association that has helped firefighters throughout the state. Rob has been the PFANJ Valor Committee Chairman for a few years now. Rob has stepped up on numerous occasions when we marched and rallied on Trenton, and we've met with state legislators on firefighter and EMS issues. Rob is very passionate, and he represents his fellow union members with enthusiasm. Rob is not only involved in the aspects of his union and the PFANJ and IAFF, but is also very much involved in charitable and community programs. Rob is instrumental in raising money for the St. Baldrick's Foundation, through Shavastan and the St. Barnabas Burn Foundation, through the PFANJ 501 5K. Rob has also organized the Operation Warm, Coach for Kids for the North Plainfield Fire Department. As the PFANJ 2nd District Vice President, Rob is responsible for communicating and helping over 15 different IAFF locals. Rob has earned the respect of the locals from the 2nd District and most recently was elected by acclamation. Rob is an asset to the members he represents, the PFANJ, IAFF, and the union movement as a whole. As president, it is truly my honor to present this year's Senator Chris Jackman Unionism Award to someone I have a high respect for. Congratulations, Robert Beebe.
Standing ovation is nice. I'm guessing you just have to stretch your legs a little bit. Glad to appreciate it. Thank you, President Molina, for the kind words. It's very nice. I don't have a speech, I have notes. That's different for me. But family first. I have to thank my wife, Lynn, my kids, Larissa, the camera girl over there with her hair, my son, Robbie. Everybody says he looks like me. I just hope he outgrows it. My father, Brian, who really my best friend, and to share the fire service with him like a brother, truly inspired me to follow this career path, and certainly inspired me to follow the calling to serve my brothers and sisters in union work and labor representation. Thank you. My mother-in-law, Maggie, the other camera person over here, whose willingness to watch the kids has facilitated my attendance at events like this for many years. And a couple who aren't here with us, my mom, Lois, who stood by my dad's side and set a really nice example for my sister and I to follow, and my father-in-law, Dan. My father-in-law, Dan, was an arbitrator, and we negotiated the terms of my marriage to his daughter successfully, but he's missed as well. And he offered a great perspective for me, coming from being a student of my father and seeing how he interacted with the union and fought for the betterment of his members, putting those interests above his own, and often at a cost to himself. He offered me great perspective from the other side, and taught me how to make a good argument, how to win a good argument, and above all, to be fair and balance everything to make sure I had the correct path. It's humbling to be recognized, especially here tonight, with the Valor Award winners. Every time I come to an event like this, whether it's our event or the St. Barnabas Awards, I look across the room at the members that are represented in uniform, who've received awards for doing the work on the street, the work that we prepare for, we train for, as safely as possible in working conditions that myself and my fellow executive board members in the PFANJ and the IAFF fight to maintain for you. You make us all look very, very good, and please don't lose sight of that. Everybody will stand up here and with absolute sincerity say, we were just doing our jobs, and you are. You're doing an exceptional job, and we appreciate that. As a member of the executive board of the PFANJ,
It's an absolute privilege to represent you every day. I like to think of Mike Mulaney from the International's 3rd District. When we lost him, firefighters in the International's 3rd District said he ran his district like a local. He felt that connection with all the affiliated organizations under his representation. He treated it, felt it like a local, and his members felt it that way too. I like to think of the PFANJ 2nd District the same way. I like to think of it as my local. Every union affiliated shop in my district is mine. It's not mine to keep, it's mine to represent you. It's a better district today than it was yesterday. It'll be a better district tomorrow than it is today. It's not by my doing, it's by the doing of the people that work in the 2nd District of the PFANJ. And I thank you for doing the good work and making us all look good. I am truly grateful and filled with a great sense of pride to be your representative. It would be out of character for me to stand here and not try to deliver some sort of a message for those members, the union members in the room, to take back to your locals, to talk to the newer members, the older members, maybe some of the disenchanted members, or some of the members who just, they just don't get it. My entire career has been based on opportunity, whether it's opportunity I sought, taking entrance exams and looking for promotion, or opportunities that were presented before me that I was, I don't know how, but lucky enough to recognize and take advantage of. The opportunities are all out there. They're around us. The union work, the work of the PFANJ, the work of the International Association is about opportunities. Take those opportunities, grow yourselves professionally, grow your unions, grow your locals, and you'll be set up for success. I can't step away from the podium without recognizing Jeff Holtz, who was my local president when I became a firefighter. And Donnie says, I represent the district with enthusiasm. It's a nice way to put it. I gave Jeff quite a hard time early on in my career, seeking those opportunities to improve. Jeff, to my good fortune, was receptive and encouraged me to continue. And we actually became a pretty forceful couple to deal with. We got a lot of things done, a lot of good things done, and I think we brought quite a few people with us along the way and set them up for success. Paul Carlucci, who's sitting next to him, we worked together as firefighters for a number of years in North Plainfield, and maybe the only person left that's allowed to call me Robbie. So I wanted to make sure I recognize him in the room. Vice President Slevin, your representation to us at the international level is greatly appreciated. We look forward to moving forward with that. And finally, the entire executive board of the Professional Firefighters Association of New Jersey, my fellow district vice presidents, our trustees, our first and second vice presidents, our secretary, our treasurer, and President Marino. Another common theme in the fire service, and we know it to be true when we go out on calls, is that it takes a team to get things done. And it absolutely is a team effort at the PFANJ to get things done. And there's not a member on the executive board that doesn't take my phone call, although they may regret it when they do. But they always pick up the phone, they always answer my questions, and that's a big part of my job, is hearing the concerns and the needs of my locals and putting them in touch with the people that can make it right. So without the support of the PFANJ, none of that would be possible. I really do appreciate this. I know I'm looking at it through the room and I can see people who've earned this award in the past. And to be considered on the same level as them is humbling. And I'll do my best to represent the integrity of the award going forward. And thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Rob. One more acknowledgement. The president of the Newark FOP, Jim Stewart, is here, so I want to recognize Jimmy for being here. That concludes the award portion of our evening. The food will be out shortly. The bar is absolutely open. Please enjoy yourself, and thank you all for coming tonight.